Livestream, we're doing the new update, which is the virtual cabin, and looking at one of the new councils which has been added into the game. Okay, let me just get stuff sorted out. There it is. Okay. Oh my god, my cough is really bad today. Alright then. Virtual cabin, here we go. Couldn't wait to do this. Oh, this is sort of cool. I guess this is sort of cool. Launch and virtual cabin release, etc. Oh, this is cool. What's this? I need to press X. And into food Glover, we got the same, that was dance. I came up for it. They did not use Black in Black in the soundtrack. It was solely an unusual way to dance the music, but the motion of the dance fit properly to that song if it's correctly synced. Oh, sort of cool, I guess. Okay, what's this? Council database. What's this? Every Friday the 13th movie has been released on a Friday, but only 4 of 10 have been released on a Friday the 13th. Wow. Wow. So much here just to look at. Other success with the first movie, Frank Mansquillo, SR, the CEO of Paramount Pictures, wanted to make the franchise into a serial, with each movie having a different villain. It was Steve Miner, director of the second and third, who made Jason into the series villain. The role of all tough leader of biker gang was played by a approximately named actor. Nick Savage was a rough movie for all his bike is damaged, his girlfriend Jill is impaled, and gets his arms chopped off before being hatched to death. Jesus. In an alternative ending, he survives, but that footage, like Ord himself, was cut. Sort of cool. Director Adam Marcus wanted to turn the series back to themes of family. The character of Jessica Kimball is the daughter of Diana Kimball, who is the half-sister of Jason Voorhees. I knew that already. A description of the final scene set of the Voorhees house. Okay. What else do we have here? Hello, the Chopper. As part of the Kickstarter campaign, certain higher tier backers could get their likeness included in the game. One such anonymous backer was Eric Jr. The Chopper. The Chopper's best two starts are repair and stealth. The part of the young Jason was played by Evie Lehman, whatever. Originally directed Sean Cunningham wanted to cast his son Noel. However, Noel's mother did not want her son to spend hours in a freezing New Jersey late during fall. actress Camilla Moore auditioned for her role of Samantha when the filmmakers discovered that she had a twin sister, Kerry. They offered them both the foxy roles of Tina and Terry. This was not the first time Camilla and Kerry acted together. They both having already starred in Dublin gum commercials. What else? Fire Pit. Oh, yes. The most requested playable Jason was director Adam Marcus and actor Kane Hodder's version of Jason Goes to Hell. This is ironic given how little screen time the movie gives to the crop of Jason. Anything here? We looked at this. Anything here? No. Oh wait, what's this? Composer Harry Malfreni has scored 9 Friday films, but it was his first score for the original movie that set the tone for the rest of the series. In an interview, Malfreni describes how the score took on a life of its own. The music became a character in that film. It was really minimal. There were really only 2 chords in the score. There was a sameness to that score. There was never any melody. Okay. I thought the phone would do something. Oh, wait, was that something? Oh, that's Kane Hodder. I'm not know who that guy is. What door? Let me go to this door. Tiffany Cox and Kenny Wheeler. Spring Break 1984 Club Patio Scene introduced skimpy swimsuits, a new challenge for the art team of Ilphonic. In an interview, art director Cole Gray stated, "We had built the system originally for the customization of swimsuits. We've had to overhaul how the characters function dramatically. It has to do with much larger scope of work that involves a gore system, so how we have to have a bunch of new clothes that work with the way of our characters pop. Our characters are essentially crash test dummies. We have to break apart a certain location, so it was a bit of a challenge." Why can't I not open this door? That's a shame, I guess. The character of Jenny Myers, known as the girl next door, is voiced by the talented Christina Klepp. Unlike her character, Christina is a bit of a traveller born in New York. Klepp spent her formative years in Germany, France and Italy. I always say Italy, but Italy. Friday Lord Steve Christie is the eldest son of David and Louise Christie, who owned Camp Crystal Lake at the time of Jason's drowning. Steve takes it upon himself to enter the camp and reopen it. By fixing the camp, he draws the murderer's heir of the killer. Oh, still reeling from Jason's death, who known if it hadn't been for Steve, perhaps Camp Blood would have remained dormant and the world would have been robbed of one of its great fictional villains. One of the hallmarks of her Friday film, principally female muddy, in the 9th installment, The Final Friday, Adam Marcus subverted the expectation of including male nudity in roughly equal measure, including a scene which had been described by many as the homoerotic shaving screen. Anything else in this room? Guess not. I'll just shut that door. Can I even shut it? Yeah, I can shut it, okay. Okay, what do we have in here? Anything here? Nope. Trying to see if there's anything in this room. Maybe the table? Nope. Around here maybe? Nope. What about here then? Wait, what's this? Ah! Won't let me. Okay. The myth of Jason lies somewhere between a natural and a supernatural. He is a man who can be cut and killed, but is also a boy who survived drowning in one, telling his immortal dark heart switches hosts in another. He is a woundable adversary, like a good campfire story. The definitive truth is always just out to reach. Okay. Anything else? Tiff? No. Deborah Kim. Friday the 13th, the game features a wide range of voice-over talent. The counselor Deborah Kim is voiced by veteran Christina Fee, who had helped voice many popular animated and film projects. Oh wow, 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 well done. Why would an apple, a big apple, from a watery start to a toxic end? Jason spent Friday the 13th Part 8. Jason takes Manhattan covered in goo. According to Kane Hodder, they put slime on him in every single shot. He was wet for the entire movie. Oh my god. After hooking up with Tina, Christopher Glover's character Jimmy goes downstairs for a celebrity bottle of wine. Not having the means to open the bottle, he calls out for a corkscrew. Jason obliges by slamming it into his hand. Yeah, I saw that movie and it was pretty funny in a sort of way. His hand before hacking him in the face with a meat cleaver. You should be careful what you wish for in the Friday films. Yep. 100%. Okay. So let's open this door then. What do we have here? Anything in here? Nope. Okay, yes. Oh wait.
What was the creepiest part about working on the game?
Oh, for sure the phone calls.
Okay, sorry. That was great. Can you start over, but this time incorporate the question into your answer?
My bad, yeah. So the creepiest part about working on this game was I get these weird phone calls to my personal phone. We worked on the game for almost, I think it was about 3 years.
Wow.
And every single Friday the 13th we would get these calls from someone. At first I thought it was someone at the studio, Paul or Dan or something, but it had to be like an F-13 fanboy or something. They would use this voice distortion and claim to be Pamela warning us to honor the memory of her son. Sometimes they would just laugh into the phone and hang up, but most of the times they would just, complain about the game taking so long.
That doesn't sound that creepy.
It wasn't until one time I called the number back and heard this.
That's creepy. Okay. Oh. Jason and Kane Hodder have a special connection. Friday the 13th, round the table, Hodder relayed a little bit of what it's like to be so close to an icon. Every time I do a convention or an appearance somewhere, there will always be at least one person that says, "Hey, did a Jason walk?" And I'm like, well, that's kind of how I walk. Okay, anything else? Nope. I'm not open this door, really? Okay, so I probably missed something. Try and look on the floor, maybe there's something I've missed. There must be something here. Oh, bin. Julius and Jason box match in Friday the 13th Part 8. Jason takes Manhattan was scripted to take place in Madison Square Garden, but for budgetary reasons ended up taking place on a roof in Vancouver. The boxer scene, however, was not lacking for effort. Actor Vincent Craig, the peer who played Julius, was really punching Kane Hodder with all his might. When it was Jason's turn, he punched Julius' head off, sending it flying into a dumpster. Nothing else here on the floor. And now open this door. I don't know why these doors are locked. Maybe I missed something in this room. Oh, let's go upstairs. Chad? No. Okay. Since the inception of the project, developers knew that Friday the 13th experience had to be multiplayer to capture the magic of the movies. The multiplayer experience is what got us the license, said co-director Money Hobbs. Seeing as Cunningham saw a game, saw that it was multiplayer and it could essentially play out like a film. They had been wanted to make a Friday the 13th game for a long time too, but all they were ever pitched was single player games. This the same one or no? Yeah, it's the same one. Okay, anything on the floor? Think here? No. Oh wait, yes. Oh, can I get it? I just saw an icon. Oh wait. Okay. Game development can be consuming and somewhat unique. Enterprise Elphonic founder Chuck Bugard, something like that, described what it's like to be developing a slasher game in a conventional work environment. The funny thing is that we're in a high-rise building and riding an elevator with people who have no idea what we're talking about. Yeah, the pitchfork needs to go a little bit further for the eyeball to come out and hang, and the blood too. And we turn around and there are people in the corner. Okay dokie. Oh yeah, and apparently in this game there's supposed to be some jump scares. At the moment there's no jump scares, so Camp Blood. Oh yeah, that was what it's supposed to be called. The screenplay of the original Friday the 13th was potentially titled A Long Night at Camp Blood. Director C.N.S. Cunningham, however, had always wanted to name the movie to be Friday the 13th, even before he had a finished script. Cunningham took an advertisement out in a trade publication to stake his claim to the popular idiom. The new title was successfully, although you can still see reference to the Camp Blood sprinkled throughout the series. Jeez, the original draft of John Henderson's script had some ambitious plans, including a boxing match in Madison Square Garden, crane shots in Times Square, and a chase screen across the Brooklyn Bridge. The budget, however, quickly became an issue. Ultimately, much of this movie was filmed on a ship named the USS Princess Patricia in Vancouver, leading many in the cast and crew to dub the movie Jason Takes Vancouver. Pretty cool, I guess. Oh, not bad. Oh. The release of Friday the 13th, the game was slated for early 2017, a time frame that managed both to be wide for some fans. This ambitiously caused quite a bit of energy to be directed at gun media and then particularly at the community. Manager Ben Sturras, it's actually become a meme within our community, said Sturras. Someone sent me a mug that said early 2017 on it in Friday the 13th font. According to director Joseph Zito, the entire cast and crew believe Part 4 to be the final Friday film. Not only was the title the final chapter, the script called for Jason's head to be slit open in the final kill. Even Harry Manfredini musical cue for the final screen was named La Muti Dear Jason. Not bad. Anything else in this room? Check the floors. Nope, okay. Coming soon. Okay. I feel like there's gonna be a jump scare in here. I don't want to, but John Stafford played the shell-shocked Tommy Jarvis in the 5th film, A New Beginning. Tommy, physiologically damaged by his run in the Jason in the final chapter, is sent to a treatment facility called Pinehurst halfway home. Stafford took the role seriously, spending a few months volunteering at a state mental hospital to prepare. Wow. Wow, 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 wow. Can I get this? Can I get this? Okay. Veteran Jason actor Kane Hodder played 3 roles in Jason Goes to Hell. Not only does he play the titular character, Hodder also plays a security guard who mocks Jason and the gloved hand who grabs the hockey mask in the final shot of the movie. With that. In part 2 there was much discussion about how the killer should be clad. Ultimately it was the costume designer who brought up the burlap pillowcase. The headpiece was chosen because it was an item that would have been readily available to the killer. Though it was never well liked by the production crew, it did serve a bridge to the hockey mask. Ooh. What else do we have here? One definitely element of part 6 is that it is the only movie in the series to feature children at the camp. The decision was a purposeful choice on the part of the director Tom whatever that word is. I can never say like words like that, but to raise the stakes and set the audience at edge. And I get this. In one scene in part 6, a group of campers are shown to be sleeping in a cabin. The camera pans over a little girl who has fallen asleep reading Jean Paul Sartre novel, No Exit. The novel is about 3 people spending eternity together in a small room and ends with the revelation hell is other people. Quite an odd book for a child to be reading. Anything else? That no, I can't get anything else. Okay. What else? Why have I got a feeling something's gonna? Oh my God, Jesus Christ. Okay, the MPAA rating board, Motion Picture Association of America, and the Friday the 13th franchise has long had a cat and mouse relationship. Director John Carl Buechler had publicly vented his frustration with the amount of footage that had to be cut to attain an R rating. For Buechler, the gore had a purpose, comparing the removal of it to be like telling a joke without a punchline. Like the movies that preceded it, Friday the 13th, the game has had its own problems with censors. Germany Rating Board, the USK, found the game so violent they rejected the game at launch. After menacing the crew of the unrevealed, Jason is shot to death by the android KM-14 with half a body and half a head. Jason falls onto a nanomed bay that super heals the killer. With a future technology, Jason is reborn as Uber Jason, same blood thirst but deadlier, nearly indestructible and with limited movement. For an actor, Kane Hodder, the fully bodysuit looked sharp but had a limited range of motion on account of all the metallic pieces. Another spray. Alice, the heroine of the first movie, was played by Adrienne King. Her appearance in part 2 is cut short when Jason shoves an ice pick through her temple. The collapsible ice pick prop was not checked properly, and on take 1 did not retract. Thankfully, King wasn't injured and didn't need any med spray. Many kills in this game take their inspiration and origin from the movies. The kill where Jason spears a counselor in the face, for example, is a reference to the 3W bug scene with Nancy McLaughlin in part 6. Among the most interesting deaths in part 5 was the road flare death. In the scene, 2 greasers Finney and Pete are stranded along the road in the woods, a common enough occurrence in the world of the Friday the 13th. Jason ambushes the two and shoves a road flare in Finney's mouth. For this special effect shot, they made a latex version of Finney's head and jammed the road flare in his mouth, making horrific red glow. During the sequence where Jason chases Rennie and seen in the subway car, two spray-painted slogans are clearly visible: Jason lives and Creighton lives. The first is the tagline of the 6th installment, and the second is a shout out to the band that director Hob Hedden was in as a youth. Oh my god, this is too much reading. In the climax fight of part 6, Jason pulls Tommy down to the bottom of Crystal Lake. Underwater there is a metal sign for Camp Crystal Lake with the word blood spray painted over Crystal Lake. It is an homage to the title of the original Friday the 13th screenplay, A Long Night at Camp Blood. Ooh. So he did all this. Anything in here? Yes, there is. The iconic stinger in part 1 where boy Jason springs from the lake helped spawn a franchise. According to special effects legend Tom Savini, the original of the scene started as a conversation he had with director Sean Cunningham. Savini had just seen Carrie and had been impressed with the stinger at the end. He suggested that once the killer had died and the audience was relaxed, boy Jason should jump out of the lake and attack Alice. Cunningham agreed and a legend was born. Nothing here. Oh, yes. No two Friday the 13th had filmed Crystal Lake at the same time. Okay. Jesus Christ almighty. Like other movies in the series, Part 2 had a difficult time receiving an R rating from the Motion Picture Association of America. An X rating was only afforded once 48 seconds had been trimmed. One scene that raised the area of censors particularly was the murder scene of Jeff and Sandra impaled by a spear while having sex in their bed. What else do we have here? Okay, Kane Hodder did the motion capture for Jason's kills. He's known for his intensity and the dedication to his craft. For some of the weapon kills, the mocap team created a dummy for Hodder to physically hit with rubber bats. According to developer Ronnie Hobbs, a problem quickly arose. That dummy didn't last a week. Every morning the prop people would be duct taping it back together because Kane would just beat the S out of it. Throughout his career, Tom Savini had been called many things, perhaps most adoringly the Sultan of Splatter. Death Ronnie Hobbs gave the rationale of the adulation. This way, people always say there's a million ways you can slice a throat, but only one right way, and that's Savini's way. The novel Friday the 13th, Hate, Kill, Repeat sets the stage for the FBI stings that occurs at the beginning of part 10. In the epilogue of the novel, the part 9, sorry, had discovered that Jason does in fact exist and goes about setting a trap to send him straight to hell. Throughout the series, Harry Manfredi's iconic Key Ma has been used to underscore Jason's presence in part 5. This sonic moniker is subverted Tommy Jarvis, driven mad by hallucinations of Jason, rises from his hospital bed as the foe whispers, "Key, key, key, ta, ta, ta," and he opens the drawer to see the hockey mask waiting for him. Key is for kill and ta for Tommy. Kill, kill, kill. Okay. Two things here. The role of Tommy Jarvis is one of the few recurring protagonists in the series, showing up in 3 movies, albeit played by 3 different actors. Young Tommy's interest in his mask serves as a homage to Tom Savini, and Jesus, this is a lot of reading. Friday the 13th Part 3 is the first movie in the series to break the date impelled in the title. The film picks up the day after the events of Part 2, making it Saturday the 14th, and while there are a few scenes on Saturday, the majority of the film takes place on the following day, Sunday the 15th. What else do we have here? Trying to scan the room just in case. Okay. Even before they had the license, the developers at Gun Media intended to write a love letter to the Friday series and knew they needed the legends to do it. Speaking of the early days, co-director Ronnie Hobbs didn't mind words. A goal all along for Slasher Volume 1 Summer Camp was to get Tom Savini, Kane Hodder and Harry Manfredini. We knew that we needed those guys aboard. We couldn't do it ourselves. Oh my god. In the original movie, the role of Brenda was played by Laurie Bartham. The audience is introduced to her character as she is moving a large archery target to the range, and she places the target on an easel and foreshadowing arrow shot by the prankster Bill Rises by her. Late in the movie, Bill is found dead, riddled with arrows. Shortly after, Brenda is thrown through a window. As it happened, it was not Laurie Bartman who did the stunt, but composer Harry Manfredini, who played the flying team. Jesus Christ, why did you put so much right in this game in a virtual cabin? Besides Bill's impalement in the original Friday, there have been several characters that Jason had affixed to walls or doors or even rafters. The biker can character of the Fox, played by Glory Charles, was impaled in the neck with a pitchfork and left to hang from the 2nd story of a barn. The pitchfork was real but made so that the 2 prongs in the middle were collapsible. Okay. Jesus, my neck as well. If I can get this, okay. Part 6 is perhaps the most censored Friday movie of all time. One particularly killed that the MPAA sent back for several revisions was the infamous sleeping bag kill. In the movie, Jason, played by Kane Hodder, had to pick up a sleeping bag stuffed with a heavy dummy and 20 additional gallons of blood and slam it against a tree. Hodder struggled to make the stunt believably and was relieved when the rating limited the scene to 1 good tree smack. Jungle gym in front of the Voorhees residence that Jason and the protagonist Stephen Freeman fight on is the same jungle gym Alfred Hitchcock used in 1963 for The Birds. Jesus Christ. Jason's relationship with animals is undefined. In part 2, Jeff and Sandra discovers a dead dog. It is suspected that it is the work of the killer, although it's never confirmed. In part 8, Jason Takes Manhattan. Director instructed Kane Hodder, who played Jason, to kick a dog. Hodder, however, refused, saying it wasn't in Jason's character. Yeah, I would. That's cruel. Who would do something like that? Jesus Christ. Oh my god, why did you put a lot of writing in this? In part 9, Jason Goes to Hell, it is Jason's right eye that shows up machete damage as opposed to the left eye that is damaged at the end of part 4. Phonic and Gun Media corrected this for part 9. Jason in the game, the devs took a poll to see if the mistake should be retconned or let be. The verdict was that it should be fixed. Many at the gun, including Ronnie Hobbs, were still conflicted. There were some people that wanted it not to be fixed, but if we didn't, we couldn't live with ourselves. Oh my god, this is hurting me. Jason Takes My Hand is the only Friday the 13th movie in which a character is not killed by machete. Jesus Christ. To promote Jason Takes My Hand, an axe-wielding Kane Hodder appeared on the Arizona Hall shows in full Jason regalia. Hodder didn't speak or break character throughout the entire interview. Credit to Arizona for pulling it all off. I needed to cough. Preparing manual weapons like axes, Jason has never used a chainsaw in the dispatching of his victims. A chainsaw was however used on Roy at the end of part 5. The climax barn scene, Pam, played by Elaine Kinningham, fights off her attacker with a chainsaw, slicing his shoulder to the bone. So the part 9's special effect artist Tom Savani came to the attention of Friday the 13th filmmakers from his work on the movie Dawn of the Dead. Of particular note was the physical nature of his special effects and kills. It was a realism that was hard won. Savani had been a combat photographer in Vietnam. If the special effects he created didn't give the same feeling as what he remembered for more, they weren't good enough. Give me a break. Filming a Friday the 13th movie has always carried a certain amount of risk. Director Tom Langenham found this out the hard way. Then he cast his wife Nancy in part 6. Nancy played the role of Elizabeth, who Jason spears through the windshield of a Volkswagen Beetle. When it came time to film the shot, Nancy sat in the car as Jason ran the spear through the vehicle. The windshield gave way but changed the trajectory of the spear, nearly impaling Nancy. So obviously from part 2, filming Friday the 13th can be a risky affair. During the final sequence of part 2, Genny, played by Amy Still, is defending herself from the pickaxe will the killer. In one of the early takes, Still, armed with a machete, sliced stuntman Steve Dusk's fingers, sending him to the emergency room. Once he returned, Dusk... Why are the names so weird? Dusk filmed the remaining takes with a prosthetic covering on his hands. Jason turned many impalements into tours for murder. However, some of the most censored kills have been from unarmed combat. In part 6, Sheriff Garris is bent backwards and broken in half. It was a bloodless kill, but nevertheless was the one that was waiting board had the most trouble with, finding it too intense. And I get this? No, I'm not? I'm on, yes. When it came to creating the kills for Friday the 13th, the game, God Media knew they needed expertise, and who better than the man who helped create the slasher genre. So they brought on legendary practical efforts guru Tom Savani. That's what I did in the Friday movie, said Savani. Creatively killed teenagers in the woods with household implements. To live in, somebody has to do it. Please, so this is all right now. So I did most of it. This may be one. And I'm trying to look on the floor now, just in case I missed something. Okay, no. I did this now. So, oh. No, that's from indoors, isn't it? Okay, collection of masks that Jason wore from the Friday the 13th series. So this is part... I know it's part 5, Roy Jason. This is part 4. I think this is part 6. Could be wrong. But I think this is part 3. No, looks like part 8. Yeah, part 8. Okay. So that means I could probably open... No, I can't open that yet. No, I looked through this already. What am I doing? No, why can I not do this? I know, right? Why are these doors opening? I've opened that already. Yeah, done that already. Done this, done this. This door better open now. Okay, it's still locked. From watch a movie to make a Hot Rod in part 6, there had been many memorable ultimates in the film in part 5. In the first ride, son Junior crazily rides a motorcycle before being decapitated with a meat cleaver. Without much of the budget, the director had an actor playing Junior 1. Sloan do the stunt himself. It requires Sloan to ride a motorcycle recklessly through the forest with a $50,000 camera mounted to the handlebars. Can I open the door? No. Okay. So I haven't actually looked outside the front door, so... Why can't I not open this? What do I need? There's something I'm missing or something. There's something I'm missing. Why are these doors opening? Why are these doors open? Has to be something I'm missing. Oh, what about this?
Okay, so did you want to do an intro?
Hello. Welcome to the Virtual Cabin. I'm Chuck Brengard, CEO of Ilphonic, and we are the developers behind Friday the 13th, the game, which you are currently playing now.
Is there anything you want to say to the fans?
Sure. I just want to say thanks for playing and supporting the game. Our fan base has been incredible. This project has exceeded even our wildest dreams, and that's because of all your continued and amazing support.
So where are we?
So this is the Virtual Cabin, 2.0 to be exact. The Virtual Cabin was a way for our backers to check out new art assets and discover a few hidden Easter eggs as we were building the game. It was a really engaging way to show a sneak peek at what we were developing.
So, why bring it back?
A ton of work went into researching the Friday the 13th films for the game, and we wanted to present a fun way to go behind the scenes and learn more about how the movies in the game were made. Consider this as an expanded virtual museum, a space where you can explore the lore of Friday the 13th and take it all in. Who knows? There might even be a few new Easter eggs to discover. If you go digging deep enough. Sorry, I didn't mean for that to sound so ominous.
What is... Be in this room somewhere. That already. I've checked this. This is so annoying right now. Jesus, my cough is so bad. Has to be like a... I've read that. There has to be like a key, maybe something. No! Move out the way, I need to get that pot. What's particularly colourful character in part 5 was foul-mouthed Ethel Hoverboard, played by Carol Lacatelle. In many ways, Ethel was the foil to Pamela Voorhees. Both were cooks, both had special sons, and both had a great set of hair. In Ethel's case, it was a wig that Locatell had from a movie she was in with Burt Reynolds called Sharky's Machine. Looked at that. Have I looked at that? Yeah, looked at that. What the heck am I missing then? Why are these doors opening as well? Wait. Wait, what's that? This is so confusing, it's unbelievable. Looked at the, wait, maybe I might have missed something in here. Looked at that. Oh, I haven't looked at this. My bad. Can I look at it again? Okay. Actress Dinah Kimmel played the sacred but tentacles heroine Chris. She did her own stunts, included the alternative ending when she gets decapitated. Looked at that, looked at her. Looked through that door already. This door unlocked now? Nope, still locked. Looked at the what go outside? This is so annoying me right now. Oh, for goodness sake. I looked through most of the things. Can we check upstairs again? Looked at the table already. Looked at these two already. And at these two. Looked at that. Wait, what's that? No, can I have it back? Ah. Maybe just, I can't be bothered to read all this. This is too much writing. Not writing, reading. Must have missed something. I read that. Read that. Read that. Did all these. Did I do this? Did all these. Did all these. Did all these as well, so why is it not working? Did the boat as well. It's really confusing me right now. I'm so puzzled, it's unbelievable. maybe have to change the date maybe to, why can I not set the date? I don't know what the Alright guys, I'm gonna end it off here, and I'm gonna do part 2 in about an hour or so. Oh my god, what's this it? Alright guys, yeah, as I said, I'm gonna end it off here. So yeah, I'll end it off here and I'll see you in about an hour.